咁咪蒙住車牌咯。
It's Sunday, October 19th, 10:31 a.m. on the West Coast.
我成世都未俾人咁樣講。入嚟啦，你會影到佢啦。
想問咧，點解會用呢啲 band 嘅車牌仔？
唔係我向住呢個方位，我冇影佢，影到佢車牌都唔得啦。佢話你唔好走啊！咁樣好惡，佢第一句就好惡㗎啦。佢話佢係大家咁樣。
大家都係
So James, what's going on?
唔係，影都跟佢啊！
我話你啊，你仲唔係我識佢？你有話我，你絕對有話我一開始。
佢呢都係幫緊車嚟。
你應該幫緊車就可以做乜嘢㗎？
唔係啊，大家都係。
唔係佢講嘅口吻，好似你頭先咁已經幫我影咗啦。頭先做咩事啊？佢影到我先知佢第一句就好惡㗎啦。黑社會嘅話，對唔咩講大話？
唔係 ，maybe misunderstanding。
我俾人用咁嘅黑社會口吻點樣冷靜啊？
我哋唔好理佢，
你蒙車牌咯，你咪呢個幫我自影到㗎啦，呢個係香港人喺度有。我哋影嘅相先啦，好唔好啊？冇嘢啊，我啊。你點都喺度人哋有任何嘢都有權益，聽日我再嚟我都有權益，我升先。但係佢哋係本身我哋唔會。咁你應該幫我自影嘅車牌。
Can you give us an update?
我車度我都一直喺度咁影㗎啦，從來冇人阻止我，從來冇人咁惡嘅態度。
佢嘅態度可能
冇理由。即係你誹謗緊我啊！即係好惡嘅態度啊！你話你走，你唔好走啊！你睇呢個黑社會，我黑社會態度，你都係黑社會態度。我第一定兩把要咗，各位眼定，點解要話我誹謗你？即係你
緊要，你靠，唔好理佢。其實各位，
我嘅態度你睇我睇你。
大家冷靜，我冇理佢。
不嬲都可以影相㗎啦，我入。
So what we're seeing here is tensions are very high, even amongst pro-democracy protesters in the same camp. It's actually a misunderstanding because I actually know, I've seen both of them, they're both on the same side, but I guess he was taking pictures too near to the car of some of the volunteers, and they weren't too happy. They thought he was probably taking pictures of their license plates, and he's claiming he wasn't taking a picture of their license plate, and that he was just taking a general photo. So I didn't see what happened earlier, but that's what started the dispute. And I just think it's because maybe everyone's quite stressed after yesterday, and tensions is really high, so things just boiled over unnecessarily there. So people are just trying to calm things down.
So it's about 1:30 a.m. there. Have you been out all night?
So we're on Nathan Road, and we're a good kilometer away actually from the center point of Nathan Road and Argyle Street. But you can see even about 4 blocks away from the main site, there are 2 huge blockades that have been built over the last 48 hours by the pro-democracy protesters here as they retook Nathan Road the other day from the police on Friday night. So it actually stretches a lot longer than the original protest area here on Nathan Road. It's never actually stretched this far, so by actually trying to reduce the area, it looks like what they've done is they've just totally stretched and blocked Nathan Road all the way to the following district, not in Mong Kok, but all the way to what we call the Yamate here in Hong Kong. I'm not going to walk all the way down there because it's still a few more blocks of just barricades and blockades, but you can just see from afar there's still another maybe 500 meters ahead of me, which is still occupied at the moment. So we're just going to start from here and head towards the center point of Nathan Road and Argyle Street. So we're on Nathan Road right now. We're approaching Shantung Street and headed towards the center point of Nathan Road and Argyle Street now. and you'll get a full view on how many people's around and just what the whole atmosphere looks like. This lady is telling them not to sleep on the street here, and that they're affecting the economy. So her friend's actually leading her way, asking her to stop, but she's saying that they're affecting a lot of, she's saying this is the Mongkok district, where there are a lot of shops.
We're losing your picture, James.
She has 2 children as well, so she does believe in the democracy, but it's not the method I believe she's agreeing with. express 佢嘅唔使鬧佢，唔該唔好掂我，唔該唔好掂我，唔好掂我，唔好掂我啊！你真係唔好，你冇我善我你走啊！你唔好掂我，我善意你都冇可以，我係善意走啊！你冇話，衝嘅人咯，一搞嘅人咯，你哋啲乖嘅真係爭取呢啲嘢嘅，好啦。你同我哋分開咯，我俾7人影響你哋咯，知唔知道啊？你明白啊？你明白啊 ？OK 啊，明白。我俾9人影響到你哋啊，知唔知道啊？我知係好心，我知係。係啊，我俾9人影響到你哋啊。OK。你明白？你真係我俾9人影響。OK， 我應承你。係啊，我俾9人影響你。唔需要啊。Now she's leaving the scene and entering a commercial building here, probably going to a bar or something. But that's just local security for the building here who broke that little argument up before that woman who's just shouting at the pro-democracy protesters. And they're urging her to leave, but she still has things to say, and she's not leaving. Old man assaulted me on the street right there. So that old man there, the security actually assaulted me on the street, on the sidewalk of Nathan Road to film me. And we have a lot of witnesses there. He actually grabs me. is now sitting inside the building, and the public are now all
佢
witnessed
哋
it.
想保護我啫，佢哋想保護我啫。冇俾一上，我自己分析好冇？
So the lady here is pleading for the security guard who assaulted me for me to not file charges against him. She's apologizing for the security guard who assaulted me. Because I was on the public road here. I was not inside the building. I was in the public street.
學生 children， 我係啱嘅，係啱嘅，佢哋之前民主係啱嘅。
So she agrees with the democracy.
但係
However,
而家有啲真係叫做暴徒嘅，係滲喺中間，佢哋喺度搞啲衝擊，搞啲咧唔應該做嘅嘢。
我睇琴晚咧唔係學生衝擊，我真係我眼見到係警察衝擊個拉線，我真係見到㗎，我都有 video 㗎，唔係學生衝擊㗎，
我啱啱都買咗水俾前線嘅警察，先生。
係。
我都支持大家，我都支持學生，我都係香港市民，我都支持大家要去爭取嘅嘢，要做嘅嘢，但係大家要去和平，真係和平，唔好做任何真係，大家要去傷害大家嘅嘢咯。大家記得一樣嘢，日本點解會好過中國啊？中國當日就點解會去敗於日本啊？因為佢哋內戰，佢哋去內鬥，記唔記得啊？當初記唔記得啊？佢哋內鬥啊！
Can someone translate, please?
你叫啲差佬係啊，就係人，冇打就係佢哋內鬥啊，就係佢哋內鬥，知唔知啊？先至會而家我覺得日本會係團結，因為日本咧而家都開門嘅，點解？因為佢哋團結。
Can anyone translate? 有冇人可以翻譯呢個？
Japan 講啦，團結，你做翻啲嘢啦。
Okay, so I'm just gonna leave here, and I'm gonna continue. Thank you.
你唔好一啲唔啱聽嘅話就唔聽，唔啱聽嘅嘢都要聽。啱先，唔啱聽都要聽，唔緊要，唔啱聽都聽。
你唔好拉佢。
走啦。
That was interesting. So that woman has clearly lost the plot. I mean, we don't know what's wrong with her, but she's just shouting and grabbing people, and she's really out of control here. And she's just gone into the building now as people start to disperse away. So now we're approaching Shantung Street at Nathan Road. That's the area, that's actually the exact spot where I was hit the other day, or thrown to the ground right there. So that's the area in front of that Hang Seng Bank. So that's the intersection of Shantung Street and Nathan Road. I was thrown on the ground right at the intersection there. Now we're just headed down Nathan Road towards the centre point of Argyle Street. That's the main centre area. Looks like whatever happened here is calmed down. There were a bunch of vans parked here earlier where there was a dispute with the owners of the vans and someone in the middle who was causing some trouble, but it looks like they've all dispersed now as well. can get a quick update to see what happened. Hey guys, is everything okay?
No, we actually need your footage.
Okay.
有冇袋喺呢架車？
So
有冇？有冇袋喺呢架車？仲有冇袋喺呢架車？
So you want the video of that guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we can, because
What
he
did he
actually
do?
went to the police.
Why?
Well, the reason why we went up to him is because he took a photo of my car.
Right, and
with
he
my-
claims he was just taking a general photo.
Yeah, yeah, and then I'll find out they delete it.
Right.
Maybe so it's a little bit loud.
Right.
He's really poor.
You got intimidated.
Yes, it's very
And he was saying like you were doing like bullying. Oh, but come on, these are nice people. Like, there's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah. And then I saw how he treated you as well. And
Right. I was just trying to calm him down.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
Right. I mean, what's he going to report? He
Yeah,
was.
we would probably gonna.
Okay, well we can. Well, the video sees how crazy he was and how calm
Yeah, that's why
you guys
I
were.
need-
So, right after the show's finished on World Crypto Network, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
And you can actually download it yourself.
Okay.
All right. Take care, guys. All right. You're welcome. Bye. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Okay, it looks like James has gotten disconnected temporarily. Hopefully he'll get back to us. It's October 19th, and it is 7:48 German time, Amsterdam time. And I'm not sure of the exact time in Hong Kong, but I believe they're 6 hours ahead of me. Do you know, Chris?
What I do know, Theo, is that it is block height 326,054. That's the only time that really matters to me anymore. 05A9D40, etc. You get the drill.
Hey, guys. Did you guys
Hey.
catch that?
Yes, we did.
I'm not even in the main fucking center point. I'm not even near the center point yet. And we've had like 2 separate incidents just on the way from trying to show you and to the middle.
Yeah, be careful. Try to get there.
Tensions are really, really high all around, just from everyone. And I guess that's to be expected after the real severe brutality and force shown by the police yesterday. Everyone's really on edge. And I guess things just blow up really quickly. So what happened in the first incident was I caught some guy just shouting at these van drivers, and I actually recognized a few of them. They're actually volunteer van drivers, and they've been helping move supplies from site to site or wherever help's been needed. So I know they're one of the good guys. I've also seen this guy around a lot helping out, so I can see that they're on the same side shouting at each other. I found that really weird. But apparently they said he was taking a picture of their license plates, so they asked him to delete the photo. But what he said was it was just a general picture of the area. It wasn't, you know, I wasn't taking a picture of your license plate specifically. So that's how the dispute started. There was nothing physical there. However, the guy kept shouting at them, and apparently he's now gone to the police. And the people, the van drivers, has asked for the footage just so that they can show who the crazy one was. And from what I saw, he was the crazy one, not them. So we'll get them the footage later. And then I was walking down to the end. I saw some lady just, she was starting to, and tensions are very high again at the end. They're shouting and people are running back towards that site I came from. I'm just going to walk back there and just see what's going on. But what I was trying to say about the lady was she just started lecturing students that she agrees with democracy but doesn't like the way things are going, blocking of commercial areas, districts like Mongkok. Looks like something big's happening here, though. Everyone's running down there. And there are screams. People are shouting. And that lady basically went from just talking and then looked like she was leaving to enter a building. And then I just followed. And while I was on a public sidewalk right here, I never entered their building. I was on the public sidewalk. Security guy comes out, grabs me by the arm, and tries to take away my camera. Who the fuck does he think he is? A fucking rent-a-cop. You know, this guy right here is a fucking rent-a-cop. And I should have press charges against this man. That's the guy, that's the old man who physically actually grabbed me and tried to take my phone. So I will be possibly complaining against him as well with this company for just grabbing someone and trying to damage his property. And he's hidden inside the building again like a fucking pussy.
So who's paying these guys?
I don't know. He's just a rent-a-cop basically, and I was on the public road right here, and he comes out onto a public street, grabs me, and tries to grab my camera. And who the fuck is he? He's a rent-a-cop. He has no authority outside that building.
Maybe he's being paid by the government.
Right, so that's why when the crowd saw that, they started charging, and they immediately circled him and protected me and told him to let go, and then he ran into the building, basically. But something big's happened here. There's riot police.
James, are you wearing any kind of protection? Have you got any, like a flak jacket or anything yet?
Someone's given me a helmet tomorrow. Another press member found out what happened, and he says he's got a spare helmet for me. I've got my press pass and the regular protective gear. Looks like... Calm down, though.
So what's happened in the last 6 or 12 hours?
So all the images of the police brutality from last night have gone public, and they clearly show police charging unnecessarily into the crowd. So when you see the photos of the barricades, right, if that's the barricade and the students are on the right, police are on the left, the police pushed it towards the students. You can see the barricades pushed by the police towards the students, then they charged over, and then they started beating the students. Even though the students were retreating or on the floor, they'd get cheap shots in there, and they would beat the hell out of the students yesterday. And you can see, we'll go to the center point later today, and it looks very, very different. They don't have their shields and riot gear already, with the batons intimidating the students in the front lines by tapping the batons on the railings or on their knees, you know, that they were doing all night. And in case they do try more intimidation, what the students have done today is quite hilarious. They've got mirrors. They've got these reflectors on the front row, similarly, which we saw used in other Occupy movements, where they would then show the police what they look like and what jackasses they look like, trying to intimidate the crowd. So they're looking at a mirror image themselves from the front line right now.
I like that a lot. That's very poetic.
So you see there's two gentlemen here, actually, sorry, gentleman and lady, sat at the very front of this barricade where there seems to be a line of police gathered. And this is the actual starting point. This is the first barricade here on Nathan Road.佢哋係咪全日都喺度㗎？我哋已經11點後開始都有嘅。係啊，佢哋應該叫我哋冇監控咁大班。冇咁大間。警察咧就不嬲都喺度嘅。不過冇咁大，啱啱大。幾時大？本身就大概70個人，又去到11點半左
左右啦，有兩架旅遊巴到咗，跟住就
So what we're being told here, there were maybe just a few officers standing at the end of Nathan Road here up until about 10, 11 p.m. But since then, they've grown from about 10 to 30. As there are less protesters, there are more police officers. There's more police. These we call them tour buses. These tour buses behind have arrived, and they're full of officers right now, which has raised the alarm level here.
係記者。
Yeah, they don't have their helmets on, so I wouldn't get too worried right now.
Right.
They're probably
so
getting really bored.
原本有兩架旅遊巴都有差人。
係我換咗嘅。
我哋頭先坐低咗之後睇唔到佢哋幾。
Sorry. Thank you. And there's a reason for that, Theo. It's because today, after all the criticism they got yesterday for being in full riot gear all day in front of the protesters and all the violence that ensued from their aggressive action by the police, today I believe they've been asked to not wear their riot gear on the front lines specifically. So
Yeah, well, there's different tactics that police use, and if they want to provoke people, then they can get dressed up in a kind of RoboCop outfit like that, and that'll really provoke people. And if they're dressed like this, it's kind of de-escalation mode.
Yeah, it's because Mongkok was reoccupied on Friday night after police thought they had occupied it again, so they were left red-faced, right? And same like Longwall Road, every time the protesters grab territory from the police respond with extreme brutality and force in return. So just like Longwall Road, when that got taken, they beat Ken Sang the next day. When Mongkok was taken, they beat a bunch of students yesterday. It's just the thing Hong Kong police does. They show extreme aggression every time they've been red-faced or embarrassed.
Okay, but as Theo is saying, it sounds like they're in a standoff position now, and they're saying, okay, let's just back down, and they're trying to ease tensions. So I would take that as a positive sign.
And that was purposely done since all the media images came out today of them just being in full riot gear all day yesterday, intimidating the crowd. So today it looks like a deliberate decision for them to just dress like this. However, it doesn't really matter. As we saw, the way they swarmed down in here at 5 a.m. the other day is these aren't the people who attack. If they are, they'll come from all corners, from all sides, in full riot gear and ambush the crowd instead. And it won't be these guys marching in anyways.
Okay, but let's focus on the positives. I really like what the protesters, what you guys are doing with these mirrors. That sounds very good. I like what...
That's something I started about 4 or 5 days ago when I realized they were putting a camera on me. I opened my mirror app on the phone and I reflected the camera back to them, and they said, "Don't do that. You can't do that. That's illegal." I said, "Well, why
it's illegal to hold a mirror up to someone." I
said, "Show me the law where it says I can't put a mirror in front of a camera that's filming me, and then you can arrest me." I said. He walked away.
Well, here is an image of James holding up his mirror app in front of the police, looking like a real hero there. That is a great picture. Looks like Alex Hofford did it, I assume.
Yes, he was right behind me, actually, when that went down.
So I think it's beautiful because I think what that conveys is a sense of consciousness. It actually makes them become more self-aware of their actions. And there's something in social psychology, there's an area of research called fundamental attribution error, which is the notion that we can't get outside of our heads. So I'm always looking out from a center, and thus often take for granted that I can't see what I look like from the outside, and so I start misattributing. It's called insider-outsider bias. You assume the worst in others first. So someone does something wrong, you assume they have bad intentions, and that's often a mistake. Because you weren't in their position at the time. So it's a wonderful area of research, and I encourage everyone to look at it. But I do like what the protesters, what you've done with that. That's a great innovation. That's a fantastic development of the, a tactic that other protesters can use. Because remember, these police are human beings, right? And if you just show them how they are behaving, and what you do is you give them the opportunity to respond. He now has to face himself in the mirror, And what I think was when he said that's illegal, I think he was talking about himself.
Right. And it's really nice to see that caught on where I was doing it on the front lines in Admiralty with a cell phone. When they were filming me in the front line, I did that for a few hours, just in front of them with a phone. And now everyone's doing it. It's amazing. And they're doing it on a huge, much bigger scale, not just using phones, but they've got a full-size reflectors, which we'll show you soon. And I think that there are some dogs here as well, because police have begun using dogs on us, so people are using dogs as patrols as well.
Are you carrying around any bacon with you, or any kind of biscuits or anything to kind of
You're
keep the
serious?
dogs? Well, that's the way you stop them from hurting you, is by throwing them food, because the dogs will always override their biology and their evolution will override any training that they've had. You see, so you can just throw biscuits down.
I thought that would have been silly, but you're actually saying that would work.
Yeah, it should work. I mean, I don't know. It depends how well they've been trained, but
Yeah, it depends on how well they've been trained. But you could, if you fed them before they were ordered to do something, then that would probably override it. If they've already been ordered, it might not work. But it's not bad to always, have some biscuits, or as we call them, cookies in America, or some chocolate and some candies and some energy bars and so on when you're walking around there, and also for yourself, and also to give to other people, because people forget to eat and drink and stuff when they're at these protests, and then something really emotional will happen, and their brain doesn't work as it should because it's totally deprived. And just get some sugar in there or something, and then you can think a little bit straighter. Sounds funny, but it's really true.
No, you're right. We've skipped multiple meals throughout the day, and it doesn't seem weird at all. Sometimes you eat once a day. That seems quite normal now.
Yeah, that's probably fine, but just have some little candies or something, because when you get cordoned off from the police suddenly, and then they make you sit there for 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
Then people really do the tensions even get exponentially higher when people haven't eaten and they don't have enough water and stuff. And the police know that too sometimes. But I think right now both sides are really tired, and they're just kind of de-escalating things. And they want you guys to get tired. They want to de-escalate, let you guys tire yourself out, and then hopefully there are less people, and then they can try to clear out again. It's my guess.
What we've seen is they're sneaky. They attack exactly when you least expect them to. That's the pattern they've been doing it. When you least expect it. So now that no one's expecting it, I'm just saying.
Okay, it could be, yeah. Maybe that's part of the whole tactic that they did yesterday. It could also be that I'm not. Of course, I don't have any information, but I think that a lot of that is also a kind of sign of desperation because the people in charge don't have really good tactics. If I had a large paramilitary force like they do, then you could do it a lot of different ways to clear the people out. But they're just ineffective in being creative and thinking about how to maybe deal with this problem, and they don't know how to politically deal with it. They have no idea, I think, at this point.
And now that they've turned a political matter into a law enforcement criminal matter.
So what are the people saying? What do they want? I know that they want to have different candidates to vote for, and about the 689 votes and all that kind of stuff. But what are people saying now, or what do people want, and what's the general message?
They still want universal suffrage. They want true democracy in Hong Kong. That's what the people want. They want the right to nominate, to civil nominations. They want the right to civil nominations here, which they were promised anyways by 2017 that they would have. And But as we approach here, this was actually the line yesterday. This was the line where police were directly in front. This area was cordoned off as well, but today it's actually open. As it's Sunday, more people did enter the busy Mong Kok district. So you can see here more roads have been opened up. However, there seems to be a little shouting match going on somewhere down here. There's a shouting contest going on. So this was the original line from yesterday, where protesters were behind and the police officers were where we are here, but they've now been pushed back a further 10 meters towards the center. But there are messages being sent across by the protesters via megaphone and the police via their megaphone. They're almost having like a dialogue.
Just don't let yourself get provoked and everything is cool.
Sorry?
I said just don't let yourself get provoked if one of these situations gets really intense verbally.
It was just trying to grab my phone out of my hand. And so it's a brand new expensive phone and I wasn't going to let that happen.
Hey, you know what you could do? You could put a wrist strap around your phone. You know, a lot of them have a place for you to attach an extra wrist strap.
Right, that's a really good idea, Theo. I'll definitely look into that. So I'm just going to plug the mic in. I won't be able to hear you, but I just want to get some better audio while I go into the center, okay? Thanks. Alright, so we're just going to find the entrance to the center point here. There's a lot more shouting now. I'm going to try and see what's happening through the center point. So I'm just going to try and show you what's happening here. The protesters have their hands up. Saying, police. And here's Alex Ockford right in front of us here on the front line. He's trying to catch the picture. Alex right in front of us. Ockford live in action going on. Hey, Alex. Yeah, they're saying he's a spy and that he's inside in trouble. They're accusing him of being an Asian provocateur, trying to stir up trouble here between the police and protesters on the front line. All the media that I've gathered here, surrounded. Because apparently this is the first piece of action in a few hours. There's nothing much to do with it caused by Alex. People are actually policing themselves. They don't want there to be an uprising tension. They always try to cool things down. And there are no police officers present. Protesters take control of the situation. Diffusing the situation. There he is, there he is. That's the man. There he is.
I think James was saying that this could be an agent provocateur, but I'm not 100% sure, and he can't hear us right now because he has a different mic hooked in.
Oh yeah?
That's what I heard him say.
Oh, how long has she been sitting down there? So now you see this lady in the front. She's apparently been sitting here for hours with no protection whatsoever, no helmet, mask, goggles, nothing really. She's unprotected and has been sitting in the front in protest for several hours now here on the front lines in front of the students. She's sitting in front of the gentleman in the red jacket. So there's the lady who's without any armor or protection. She said she's the mentioned about CY1 that she's she said she will not be leaving. You don't have to worry about her. She said she won't be leaving. And that you don't have to worry about her. And there's a gentleman right there. He's gone now. As soon as he saw me point the camera, he's hidden. But there's a gentleman who's been watching the action all night inside that building. Was he filming or taking pictures? He's watching. So there's an observer right there. Although if he was trying to be discreet, you'd think he'd turn the lights off, right? It's really obvious where he is. But as soon as we flash the camera towards him, he's quickly hidden himself back into the building. So let's see when he comes back out again. But for now, he's gone back in. So interesting. Probably one of the security personnel.
你有支持，但係我哋香港人就係成日都貼，所以其實有你極端啦。我哋貼就輸齊晒，我哋已經冇嘢再輸㗎啦。個時間唔等人㗎。
A mate of mine in England said, "You're on the Daily Mail." I couldn't believe it. I thought it was pulling my leg.
英國佬管住香港區，個世界係我哋嘅。
Yeah, we were here till about
而家都唔等人嘅，記得而家都輸㗎啦，我哋香港。
It was nothing happened from 1 to about 6. So it looks like things have calmed down now on the front lines, and it's just the female protester with no armor sitting in the front. So we're just going to circle around and show you the rest of the site, as we are now in the center square of Nathan Road and Argyle Street, where we bumped into Alex. He's You mind if I show your face? Okay. He doesn't, so I'm just going to keep walking around. See you later, mate. Right. So we're now walking towards, we're on Argyle Street right now, and we're walking, sorry. Right. And now we're walking past Nathan Road, where the HSBC building is. So here, you see now there's a big gap separating, the police from the protesters. This is very different to yesterday, where yesterday police officers were actually directly here on the railing. So where I am, the police officers would have stood right here in front of the protesters, banging their batons on the rails. But you can see today they're now well backed off a few meters back, and we're actually there's a fellow Bitcoiner from Hong Kong here. This is Leo. He is the chairman of the Hong Kong Bitcoin Foundation. In a way.
Hello, world.
So we're actually on the World Crypto Network here. I'm going to unplug the mic so that you can talk to some Bitcoiners across the world. So Theo, can you hear us? That's Chris.
Hey.
Hi there.
Hi.
Thanks for following this. Thanks for being interested in like what's happening in Hong Kong.
Yeah, we've done some crowdfunding in Bitcoin. We're paying for his James's 4G internet connection. I think we've got a helmet coming his way and a flak jacket as well.
It's very difficult to hear what's going
He
on.
says I've got some equipment coming, like a...
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and also some people funded some food for the protesters in the first days, and it was all paid for with Bitcoin as well.
Yeah. That's really the strength of Bitcoin, right? Like, in what other way could you as quickly as that money across the globe? The other organizations, they've been receiving donations throughout the last 2 years, cash donations or bank accounts, but that limits the amount of support that they're going to get, right?
Yep.
And so makes them quite vulnerable, right? Like, at this point, we have heard rumors. We haven't actually seen people's bank accounts being seized yet, but the last 3 weeks have definitely been up for a lot of prizes, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we see bank accounts being freezed, the access restricted. Occupy Central as a group, they did have their incorporation denied on the grounds that they're an illegal organization. They were compared to being triads and organized crime, so they also didn't have an opportunity to use a bank account than the Alliance for True Democracy bank account. So it is not without thinking that somebody or some court might rule that the Alliance for True Democracy is actually working together with an illegal organization or like an organized crime even, and gets their bank accounts freezed together with the Belarus Federation students. And then Bitcoin for them is pretty much the only option to get water.
How is the local Bitcoin economy? You know, localbitcoins.com. Does that operate well in Hong Kong?
It's most exciting about the startups here. I mean, even that we're talking right now about a protest that very much contests the idea of Hong Kong being a free city. As far as banking and free trade goes, it still is, right? And at least a month ago, just like actually even right now, it seems to be like a very nice place to set up a Bitcoin company, despite all of this, or maybe even because of all of this, right? Like people really care about their city, and there's quite a lot of hope of this being successful, and like authoritarian forces being pushed back. So there is an active community here. There's a few places that accept it. It's mostly people who have been exposed to any kind of global finance or any kind of like who've been living more an international life that see the true benefits of Bitcoin. If you have bank accounts in London or in the United States, and you do realize quickly how difficult it is to get money there. Or if you are in a Hong Kong online shop and the only way for you is to accept money through credit cards or through PayPal, then you see in Macau PayPal is unavailable because it's a high-risk area. That's what people consider it. And gambling, and fraud. And in Hong Kong, credit card fees are very high. They're much higher than in the US. The problem of fraud, chargeback, credit card fees is even more relevant in the US. So yeah, good community here. A lot of enthusiasts, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of exposure to other Asian cities. We just had last week an awesome meeting about remittances in the Bitcoin world, and of course, Asia is not as well connected as Europe is or as North America is. And Philippines and Indonesia are always cited as prime examples for how Bitcoin can help the remittance work and how this extraordinary fees is a rip-off for people who just want to send tiny stuff back home. So I think that's gonna take off from here, and I very much hope that.
So is there somewhere where James can buy stuff in Bitcoin with the Bitcoin that people send him?
Yeah, there is ways to directly buy things with Bitcoin. Maybe the most economical way to get food to these people is directly through Bitcoin. So that's through very, very small shops that sometimes don't even have a smartphone. So that's where, like, yeah, there still needs to exchange it or to ensure it. So the people who accept Bitcoin in Hong Kong, like the businesses, they're more upper scale restaurants or which maybe not the best place to buy. It is a nice Beijing pancake shop, for example, but it's maybe not the most economical way for spend Bitcoin.
Or the name
to buy Mr. Bing.
Okay.
To buy 1,000 pancakes with that money.
We wouldn't want to buy Beijing pancakes at a Hong Kong pro-democracy protest either, would we?
It's owned by an ex-investment banker who got into, well, he quit his job and he wanted to run a pancake shop, and that's also how he got into Bitcoin, and that's why he very enthusiastically accepted it.
All right, is there anything you want to add, Leo?
Oh yeah, thank you all for following this and your support.
Are you on Twitter, Leo?
Yeah, on Twitter.
What's your Twitter handle? Can we follow you?
Leo AW.
And can you, who are you here? We've seen you around. Can you tell everyone who you are, please? Okay. You're a Bitcoiner though. You're on
No,
Bitcoin.
I did buy some Bitcoin. Yeah, I have a very small number.
How was your first experience with Bitcoin?
Not very good. I've lost money. And I accidentally deleted the app off my phone. So
And you didn't back it up, I'm assuming.
I think it's, what's it called? Blockchain. I lost the blockchain off my phone. So I think I've lost my $5 US. I remember it was gone in one day.
It's out there somewhere. Alright, thanks guys. It's really nice talking to you.
To be honest, I think it's a bit of a scam. Bitcoin.
Yeah, these are the people I also have to deal with. But,
So there we go. The head of the Hong Kong Bitcoin Association, and he's associating with a anti-Bitcoin person, and they're getting along just fine, very peacefully in front of a pro-democracy protest. How suitable is that there? So on that note, we're going to continue on, and let's see what the rest of the site looks like here tonight. Thanks, guys.
This is Leo's Twitter page here, so if anyone wants to follow Leo, you can find him here on Twitter.
All right, so Leo, your page is up right now. Oh, wow. So there's Leo. You guys can follow him as well. He's here. I've seen Leo here quite a lot. He comes out here quite often, and he helps out a lot as well. He's a really good guy. Big supporter of Bitcoin in Hong Kong. Has a lot of events here as well. So that's the Hong Kong Bitcoin Association, and we've just bumped into him on the front lines here at 2:24 a.m. local time. So now it's crossed over to Monday now. But you see, there's still plenty of people remaining. There's still a large crowd here tonight. But what we see is that there's a very big gap now. So there's a great distance between the reporters and the crowd today. You can see, if you look over here, these are the reflectors that we mentioned earlier. So it says, do not act like robots. Show human sense. So that's the mirror that's reflecting me now. And this is what these are the mirrors that the protesters had up previously at the front.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. That's a beautiful statement.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
this one says, this is you. And it has a silver reflector, and I guess now it's reflecting me on top. And these are the kinds of reflectors and signs which the protesters had put up on the front lines here today.
What is the material? I'm presuming it doesn't look like glass. I mean, obviously that would be a bit dangerous.
It's not glass. It's very soft.
Plastic kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like a plastic reflector. It's
Yeah,
almost like
I've got some of those at home. My kids have one. They've got a big mirror, and they can step on it, and it doesn't break. And it always freaks me out. So I think they've made, in modern times now, you can get a mirror that doesn't break.
And so you can see that there's a very, very large gap now, unlike yesterday when they were right on the railings. Today we can see there's a clear, good 7-8 meters separating the police officers from the general public. So tensions are definitely much lower compared to yesterday, naturally, because they're not in riot gear. They're in plainclothes uniform. They don't have the helmets. The helmets are on the floor today. No shields, no batons up. So the police officers are also very peaceful. And there's a big gap here to not allow any tensions to build up. So the situation today is very different to what we've seen yesterday. Things are very calm in Mongkok. A protester just said, at this moment. He's cautioned me at this moment. You know, don't be too confident. He's saying that things are going to be calm. So he just wanted to comment out, at this moment things are calm. As we head on to the side of, we are now on Nathan Road. But actually on this side of Nathan Road, it is open. The road's actually open. And cars travel down from Argyle Street here. They cannot continue along Argyle Street. However, they can turn onto Nathan Road and move out here. And on the opposite end, police are using the other side. So you can see they're about you can see on this side, there are no protesters on this side. Instead, there are about 15 police vehicles lined up here. So this end, traffic is flowing just regularly. There's 2 lanes out of the 3 open. So there's 1 lane blocked by police vehicles, but the other 2 lanes are good. And on this side, it's full of police vehicles, where cars are moving right now from Argyle Street. And this is something I think police have wanted to do, is to open up the roads to make sure traffic does continue to flow here. However, the other end of Nathan Road is still fully occupied by pro-democracy students and protesters. As we just continue the end around, see the orange line here? So this is where traffic comes through. So I'm just going to step back because I see some cars coming, but it's a green light. So the public are allowed to cross. So yesterday this was all blocked off here. This wasn't a regular traffic light. People were not allowed to cross from side to side. But as things are now under control, the traffic lights are open. The green-red light system, like how it normally runs, is running as normal here at the intersection of Nathan Road and Argyle Street as I cross back into the middle. And the center point is where all the press are at. So this is kind of the safe zone, so to speak. And this is where we're going to stay. And we've just given you kind of a full view now from the top end of the protest on Nathan Road to what the center circle looks like. And we were able to get a Bitcoin interview there, which is quite surprising. But we've done a Bitcoin interview here at the Hong Kong protest.
That is very, very cool, James. It's really impressive. So have you got anything now that identifies you as press? So the police know to leave you alone now? Fantastic.
It's in my hand.
Let's have a good look at it.
Well, you're going to have a laugh because...
Hey. I love the YouTube. Hey, what does that say?
That's why I said you're going to have a laugh.
Why has it got my name on it?
I haven't a clue. Someone did something.
Oh. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm now an enemy of the Chinese state. Woo! History.
What's going on now? There, you have your name on the ID or what?
Yeah, he has adopted my identity.
I've adopted Chris.
That's funny.
We need to get you a blockchain passport. Did you see my proposal for the blockchain passport?
No, is that on the Podio?
It's yeah, I have linked on the Podia, but it's also on my Git repo. So you need to get yourself to find somebody that knows how to use PGP. Get yourself a key signing party in the next few weeks.
Okay.
Generate yourself a PGP key. Sign a picture of that actual thing with your PGP key, and then put that into the blockchain. Put the signature into the blockchain that proves that you exist, and then get other people to sign your key to vouch for who you are.
Okay. I don't think they'd even understand that though.
No, I know, but it's going to take some education. But if you can find somebody near you that does get cipher punks, you know, somebody who knows how PGP works, go on meetup.com, look at the meetups in your area, anything like Linux meetups or any kind of hackathons, anything like that. You're bound to find a coder there that knows how to use this stuff. Just sit down with them, get them on a live stream with us. I'll walk people through the process on YouTube Live if you want, and then we'll get your identity stamped in the blockchain.
All right, sounds good. We'll look into that. So it does look like things are very calm today. It's very different to yesterday. They are keeping their distance. They don't have their gear on. So just from their formations to how much room they're giving the protesters to just the lack of riot gear that they have on, it looks like things are going to be quite calm for the rest of the evening. And it looks like they are trying to de-escalate the situation today. And you can see a real effort here to de-escalate the situation from the police force. After the wild scenes from the last 2 nights. So I think this is a good, we've just had a good full update. Unless anything breaks out, I think we're done for the night here.
How much is your data costing you, James?
Haven't a clue, I don't want to see the bill.
Well, we've got about
I think we have an address in the description, right?
We do have an address in the description. I've got it up in the Armory wallet at the moment. And I can get those funds sent to you, James, if you need me to. So just send me your key.
He's still running away from me. Alex, that was Alex Hofford, the guy who took the photo. He put his head behind the screen, but he's
yeah, let me get this.
That was who took the photo. He falling onto the ground the other day.
Oh, great. Oh, yeah. Say hi to him for me. I'd love to get him on air. Have we interviewed him yet?
We haven't interviewed him. He's camera shy, apparently.
Oh, I get it. So he doesn't mind taking pictures of people.
From his colleague here, who is also running away from us. You know, I could be paparazzi and chase them both down right now, which I'm doing. Now I'm just going to let them go. I'm not going to chase them down.
Okay, James. So somebody move on to my screen. This is James's address. That is in the safe custody of World Crypto Network. If you send Bitcoins to here, we will forward those on to a temporary address of James's. This is because he is liable to be assaulted and have his stuff nicked, so we don't want him having the Bitcoins on him at all times, even if they are encrypted. It's just not cool. And backed up and so on. So if you send them to us, we will immediately forward them on to him as and when James is in a safe place and can dispose of them on an OTC trade or in a shop or something like that. So James, if you give me your public key on Skype, I will just send those funds to you.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Okay, stay safe, James.
Yes, please do that.
I'll leave you here and we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take care.
See you then. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. This has been World Crypto Network. Do you want to do another block height thing, or is that enough? We already did one.
You only need to do one per show.
Okay, great. So we did one, and I think tonight or there's a new Mad Potcoins. If you want to watch that, just check out the channel. Okay, see you. Bye.
Bye-bye.